Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Friday, September 22nd. I'm Michael Taylor. We made it through the week. It's Friday, thank God, right? We have a great show for you, so stay tuned just a little longer before you go out and enjoy the rest of your weekend. On the show today, we have Dan Sterling. He's going to be here talking about how you save for the future, what some of the formulas are to make sure you have your retirement and you're ready to go in terms of that. Cole Young's going to join us with Sports Corner, and then the folks from the Publishing Club are going to be here. Of course, we got Nancy Brown and Alan Dickinson. It's fall. It's kind of the inspirational time of season. Leaves are changing. Seasons are changing. People start writing poetry and inspired by books. So we're going to talk about their fall festival and publishing festival they have coming up there. Let's stay informed. We got a great deal for you. Hey, this Saturday, if you don't have any plans, we've got something for you. Bob Eubanks is going to be in town, and he's going to be talking about his time with the Beatles. Backstage with the Fab Four, when they first came to America, he was helping them on their tour and doing a lot of stuff with them. They've got some special pricing. They just have a few tickets left, so they put some special pricing out there for your last minute. So if you waited, you're in luck. Now's the time to go out there and grab up the tickets that are on the good deal for you right now. If you want to do that, it's going to be Saturday, September 23rd, tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center, 949-415-8030. Call up, see what kind of tickets they might have left. Hey, let's take a look outside while we're at it. It's going to be a great weekend, whether you're at the Performing Arts Center or wherever you might go. We're going to have nice temperatures all through the weekend, a little bit in the mid-70s all the way through. We're going to have those morning clouds. We're going to have the afternoon sunshine, nice cool evenings. So it's really kind of great fall weather as we head into the weekend and the official start of fall, which is on Saturday. So that'll be a fun time of change of season, like we say. Let's take a look outside at our sunrise and our sunset. We've got an interesting shot for you. This is Alan Clark. He sent us this. This is not Laguna Woods Village, I'll tell you that right now. No, this is from the 6th Street Bridge. Alan took a shot of this downtown skyline in Los Angeles. That's a fun one. Sunrise was 6:39. Sunset is going to be 6:48 tonight. If you'd like to send us a picture from no matter where you take your picture from, if you're a Laguna Woods resident, then send it in to us. We want it, we want to see it, and we want to put it on the air. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com is the email to send it to. Send us your name, tell us where you took the picture, and of course, take that picture horizontally so we can make sure it fits on our screen just wonderfully. Okay, we have no meetings to tell you about. Another great Friday tradition around here. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Dan Sterling from Sterling Financial.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon, a 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an extra-large touchscreen. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Irvine Subaru. Buy online, just come in to sign. Get 2 years complimentary maintenance included on all new Subarus.
Achieve a level of comfort you've never known before. The Daydreamer will take you through smooth movements and guide you effortlessly into your favorite positions. Adjust the power pillow for ideal support for your head and neck. This and our positioning technology allows for infinite relaxation. Lay back in zero gravity while watching TV and put your body and mind at ease. Lift your spirits and find your favorite daydream. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 45 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit us anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
Your first day of retirement. What will you wake up to? Freedom? Time? Adventure? Your ideal retirement doesn't just have to come alive in your dreams. Awaken to your new reality. Awaken your spirit, your vision. It's not a dream. It's your next chapter, your future, and it's in reach. Next generation retirement doesn't happen by accident. Plan for your bright future. Awaken to what's possible.
from Sterling Financial, I want to welcome Dan Ohlweiler. Not Sterling. Dan Ohlweiler to the program today. You're going to talk about retirement and all that kind of fun stuff.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see
How
you
you
again.
been?
I've been well. I'm
Good.
learning names. I'm new things all the time, right?
Okay. So am I. So am I.
We want to learn about what people are doing towards their retirement, right? That's got to be the biggest thing. You know, anybody who's doing investment, they're looking towards the future, right?
Well, I think the talking points we wanted to talk about is determining your risk tolerance
Right.
during retirement.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah, for
what
sure.
is it how much risk can I take? How much should I be taking?
And that changes as you kind of get older,
As
right?
you grow older, we tend to be a little bit more conservative than when we're younger. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're 35, I always tell clients how we invest at 35 is different than how we invest in 65 or 70.
Right,
And
right.
that generally is the case. Sometimes we sit down with people and we still have people that are fairly aggressive, and that's fine if their risk tolerance allows them to do that.
And you also have to kind of measure, okay, when do you want to retire, right? Because I may be young, but hey, I want to retire in my 50s. I have, that kind of thing. So that's also kind of part of the measurement too.
Well, one of the things you have to do is you have to determine what your income needs are as far as maintaining a lifestyle.
Right.
You know, when is it that I want to retire? How much do I need to retire? And then look at some of these things that come into play in regards to that. If I have 15, 20 years before I retire, I can take a little bit more risk in order to get the assets that I need. If I'm on a time frame of 1 to 2 years, you want to start looking at protecting what you've already accumulated,
Right.
and go from that.
Okay. And what's like the formula you use in terms of the rule of 100? How do you approach that?
That's a kind of a folksy formula. It's talking about the rule of 100. What you do is you take 100, you subtract your age. Let's say the slide shows 73. That means you should not have more than 27% of your money exposed to risk at that time.
Okay.
Okay, so the rule of 100 basically says if I'm 35 years old, I can have 65% of my assets at risk and can afford to lose it at that time.
Okay.
If I'm 75, I shouldn't have more than 25% of risk. You know, the rest of it should be fairly safe and secure and getting a decent rate of return.
Now, let's say somebody comes to you and they're younger in life and they say, I want to have this formula. I want to figure this out. What are the percentages you look at in terms of risk tolerance for somebody in their 20s who's just starting out but may not have a lot to invest?
Well, the nice thing about starting younger is you have the time frame to be able to ride the markets out.
Okay.
Okay, so if you get into the stock market, obviously we see some volatility there, okay? And you don't have to be quite as concerned because you've got time to ride the markets out. 2008, 2009, we saw a big drop in the market. It took 4 or 5 years just to get back to where we were.
Right.
We saw a big drop during COVID, but it took 8 months to get back to where we were. So a lot of that just depends on the time frame that we're looking at. The younger we have, the more time we have to ride these markets out. We tend to be a lot less comfortable in down markets the older we get.
Right. Now, let's say the opposite of that. I'm 55, and let's say I just turned.
No.
I am. I'm 55.
No.
Yes, believe it or not. So let's say I just moved to Laguna Woods Village,
Okay.
but I've been living month to month my whole life, and I haven't really socked anything away. If I
Okay.
sit down with you and I say I want to start being serious about this,
Right.
Am I too late?
Well, depends upon how much you spend.
Right.
It's all
Okay.
a lifestyle.
Right.
I've had people come in and say, I need $3,000 to pay my bills. My house is paid off.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't have anything.
That's
I
where
need
I'm at.
$3,000, and I get $2,500 a month from Social Security. Well, that's a lot different than the person that sits down and says, I need $3,000 a month. I don't have Social Security. I don't have any money.
And I have a mortgage,
saved.
or I have
I
maybe four
have
or
a
five-
mortgage.
yeah.
So, it's just a numbers game to me. I mean, you can have $20,000 a month need, but if you have enough assets, that's okay. Where it comes down to is, if you're 55, I want to retire in 10 years, how much are we going to need for that much?
Right.
Okay, and I need $5,000, $6,000 a month, but I'm going to get $3,000 a month from Social Security. Then we got to set up a plan saying, okay, how do we generate the $3,000? This is how much you have to save over the next 10 years in order to do that.
Right, and my risk tolerance isn't going to be as high because I don't have the time to write out the markets anymore, right? In a sense.
10 years, you're probably okay. You really need to start pulling back probably a year or two before you're planning on retiring. At least that's our philosophy. I've been conservative with my clients over the years. I don't take a lot of investment risk for my clients, and it seems to work for them because most of our clients are in pre-retirement or retirement years, and so sometimes we'll get referred to children of clients that are trying to do that, and that's okay, but they're a little bit more aggressive and they're into Bitcoin and everything else, so, but that's, that's okay because they're a lot younger age.
And in your advisement, sometimes some adults are having their kids kind of move in with them, or they're still helping them out. Is that part of the? You have a lot of clients that kind of doing that. Hey, not only is that my retirement, but I'm also kind of 3 or 4 people are in need of my help these days, and how can I make those things work?
Yeah, that varies with each individual. But what I find sometimes is that the husband might be more aggressive, but the wife or the spouse.
We have to measure who's in the couple, who's ready to do that exposure and who's not, right?
Yeah, I mean the wife usually are a little bit less risky than the husband, or vice versa.
Right.
I've seen wives where they're a little bit more aggressive and their husbands are more conservative. Okay. So it's a balancing act between those two in regards to, who gets to invest the money, and you kind of have to split that up a little bit and satisfy both.
What's the sage advice you give when you have the husband and the wife in the room and you're trying to make that balance work? What is the go-to for you?
Well, what I have found is the sage advice is as you look at their finances and they're doing okay, whether or not they make 5 or 6% on their money as opposed to 8 to 10 probably isn't going to change their lifestyle.
Okay.
But losing that money will affect them. And so, as you talk to the more aggressive person, most of the time they just like the excitement of the return.
Right.
And so you've kind of got to pull that back a little bit, because if they end up losing that money, then it's going to impact them much more than if they make extra money.
Okay. Sage advice from Dan Ohlweiler from Sterling Financial. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
We're going to come back. We're going to go out to Sports Corner. Stay with us.
Welcome back to another Friday and another episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and so many storylines emerged over the weekend, so I will get right into it. Week 2 of the NFL season had several ups and downs and injuries and more. The Giants and Commanders pulled off 2 incredible comebacks. The Bills redeemed themselves with a 38-10 win over the Raiders. The NFC South has 3 undefeated teams. The Bengals and Chargers are still looking for their first victories, and the Cowboys are looking like an early powerhouse. Like I mentioned, there were some big-name injuries this weekend as well, unfortunately. On Monday night, on a run up the middle against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Browns running back Nick Chubb suffered a devastating knee injury and will miss the remainder of the 2023 season. The Browns then went on to sign their former running back Kareem Hunt to a 1-year deal to take Chubb's spot. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley will most likely miss around 2 or 3 weeks with an ankle sprain. Other big names like Jalen Waddle, Christian Watson, Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Greg Dulcich, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins, Cooper Kupp, Joe Burrow, and many, many more are now facing some pretty serious injuries. It's the worst case scenario that so many NFL stars are going down this early in the season, but hopefully the rehabs and recoveries are quicker than expected and the league will get some of its best players back soon. And a big trade happened on Wednesday when the Rams traded running back Cam Akers to the Minnesota Vikings for a few draft picks. Moving on to my picks for this week. After the Broncos' Hail Mary and loss, and the Lions narrowly losing in a shootout with the Seahawks, I went just 2-2 last week, bringing me to 5-3 for the season. This week has some pretty exciting matchups and a few that could be some high-scoring blowouts, so it should be an interesting weekend. My 4 winners for this week are the 49ers over the struggling Giants, Minnesota to pick up their first win at home against the Chargers, the Chiefs to easily roll past the Chicago Bears, and the Eagles to remain undefeated after heading to Tampa Bay. It's still very early in the season to tell which teams are for real and which have just had either a rocky start or a solid one, but the more time passes, the more we will be able to see just which teams are geared up to make a deep playoff run this season. Over in college football, this past weekend, no top 25 team played a ranked opponent, so there wasn't too many marquee matchups. That being said, yet again, Colorado put on the best show of the weekend against Colorado State. With 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the world was stunned to see Colorado State in the lead over Colorado, 28-17. A field goal with 7 minutes remaining would narrow the lead to 28-20, then a historic 98-yard touchdown drive with under 2 minutes left in the game would tie the ball game and send it into overtime. Colorado would go on to win this thrilling game 43-35 in double overtime, completing the 4th biggest comeback for Colorado since 2005. The Buffs now move to 3-0, but drop to number 19 in the rankings. This weekend is full of big matchups, including Colorado, who will face off with their Pac-12 rival, the number 10 ranked Oregon Ducks, this Saturday at 12:30 p.m. on ABC. The other major game I'm looking forward to this weekend is another Pac-12 matchup between the number 22 UCLA Bruins and the number 11 Utah Utes. That game will also be on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. on Fox, so hopefully your TV has the ability to watch in split screen because you don't want to miss either of these matchups. Baseball is entering its final stage as the MLB regular season comes to a close on October 1st. The playoffs then begin on Tuesday the 3rd, so things are just getting started for the teams that have earned their spot in the postseason. Unfortunately, as I have mentioned extensively, the Angels are not one of those teams, and it seems that next season they will likely return without Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout. Like I said, there are still a ton of regular season MLB games to enjoy this weekend, on top of some big-time matchups in both college and pro football. Just a few more weeks until the hockey and basketball start, and the Ryder Cup is finally next weekend. My point being, this is the best time of year for sports, so enjoy every minute of it. I know I am. As always, thank you for tuning in to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
We got some folks from the Publishing Club here today. We have Nancy Brown and Alan Dickinson. We're going to be talking about the Autumn Festival you guys have coming up for publishing and a lot of other stuff. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having us.
So tell me a little bit about, you got the Autumn Author Forum coming up. What was the genesis of that? What, you guys do it every year?
I'm going to let Alan address that.
Sure.
Please allow me to refer to my notes.
Oh, absolutely.
The cameras and all. The Autumn Author Forum is a fun, informative, and exciting publishing event. Some would call it a meet and greet of your local Laguna Woods Village novelists. It's held right here in the village each year during the autumn, hence the name.
It's a giveaway.
You will be very glad you attended, should you come. Nancy and our board and I can assure you it would be to your advantage. There will be door prizes, marvelous authors to speak with about their bestsellers, quote. There will be personally autographing their wonderful material and books for you. It's a great time to allow our quite talented authors to display, sell their books and novellas. It originated by our former president, Peggy Edwards, very nice lady. It's been on the program. Also Sunshine and Marcia, and a couple years ago. And recently, Nancy, our new president, has done a fabulous job, by the way, took over and have drastically updated our author forum for 2023.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fun show. And you guys, where do you find the authors? Who are they? Where do you find them? Are they all local or some special guests coming in?
Okay, great questions, Michael. The authors are all club members. Most of them live in the village. We do have a couple of non-resident members, but some of them heard about us through the Globe or word of mouth and joined the club specifically to be an author, a presenting author, because you have to be a member to do that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, they represent a variety of genre, everything from poetry to fiction, nonfiction, humorous pieces, and we have 27 authors this year, so that's going to be really exciting.
Now, are there seasons for different kind of books? I mean, I know I hear, oh, this is a good summer read, or this is the, like the movies, you know, for the films, you know, the serious movies come out at the end of the year for Oscar consideration. Are there times of year where maybe different kinds of books are coming out, or is there a season?
Well, that's a great question, and I don't know
You
that
know,
I have the answer, but that would be a good question to ask the authors, because I think a lot of authors try and finish a book to publish it for a certain event or for a certain period of time.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm not quite sure.
Because like I said, you have the, oh, this is a great summer read, or this is kind of a cozy by the fire kind of a book for the winter, or those kinds of things. So I think there's that idea of the varieties. Tell us a little bit about the sponsors this year. Who's being part of it, and who's coming to help you guys out?
I'm going to cover that, but I missed a little piece on why I and most people decided to be part of the event. And just to take a second,
sure.
I just read recently an article from a national magazine, what people have on their bucket list. And number 3 on that list was writing and publishing a novel. Everybody has at least one novel
those novels in their heads, right?
Exactly. Exactly. On our sponsored list, we have our title sponsor, which is Vita Wise Acupuncture, and then we have levels of giving, which we graciously accept any amount.
Right.
But these
you have
amounts,
the silver and bronze and community partners.
Right.
Yes. And our silver sponsor is $250, bronze $100. Any amount is accepted, as I said. Our silver sponsors are Advantage Physical Therapy and Damrell Flooring.
And we have those up on the screen, too, for folks to take a look at in terms of the names of folks. I do know, I want to make sure we have a little time for this. I do know one of your sponsors recently passed away.
Yes. I got a phone call from the son of Dorothy Herford just 2 nights ago. And Dorothy, a lovely woman, was a dear friend of mine personally. I played pickleball with her, as well as having her as a member of the publishing club. She was quite an accomplished poet, and she was actually one of our poetry editors for the Village Stories, which is our annual anthology. And if we have time, I'd like to read her submission for this year's Village Stories 2023.
That'd be wonderful.
It's called Garden of Delight. What did I plant today? Did I mean to? Or did a random thought escape from somewhere in a darker place, blow onto my cultivated healthy soil? Should that be the case, till the soil. The organic soil of my soul with sustainable thoughts and hybrid seeds of love, watching the buds of truth and kindness fertilize compassion in this planting. Sun nurtures the deepest roots like a newborn delicate soil. As blossoms join in bright, rich colors, fresh ideas with fragrances of inspiration produces my garden of heavenly delights.
Oh, wow.
And Dorothy, being a very private person, knew that she had cancer and was dealing with that for several months. She purchased Village Stories on Amazon before they even were ordered and shipped to our club. So she had her own copy. She was able to see her poem in print, and the back cover, we had a cover contest. The back cover was her submission.
Wow.
So,
well, from that, that from the bounty that she planted, I think it's still going to go on and spread to others. And that's the thing.
Exactly.
When you plant those seeds, that there's a bounty to be shared. And I think it sounds like that poem and the things she did are going to live on in her memory.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. It's
And
terrific.
if people want a copy of the Village Stories, they can purchase one at the Autumn Author Forum.
That'd be a wonderful tribute
Yeah,
to her as well.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And her son's going to be there at the event as well. You think?
I don't think so.
Oh, won't be
He's
able to
from
be
the
on.
East Coast, and he's out here only until the end of this month.
Well, I hope he's watching today.
So I hope so too. I alerted him.
Terrific. Let's talk one more time about the Autumn Festival before we go. The Autumn Author Forum, I should say. I keep calling it a festival.
It could be.
So where, when, all the details
Okay,
before
it
we
is
get out
on
of here.
October 18th, Wednesday, and it's at the Performing Arts Center, also known as Clubhouse 3, in Dining Room 2, and it'll be from 2 to 4 p.m. And again, there will be light refreshments. There will be, thanks to, by the way, one of our sponsors, who is Sprouts Market, and we'll have all the authors there to meet and greet, sign books, and have them for sale.
Well, fantastic.
And both Alan and I are sponsors that will be, or not sponsors, but
You'll be
participating authors.
participating. Well, Nancy and Alan, rather, we hope to see you there. It sounds like a great event. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you there.
Thank you. And we'll be right back with more.
Okay, thank you very much,
Boy,
Michael.
Dr. Farhamond and her associates at Brilliant Smile are excited to announce we now feature cone beam computed tomography. CBCT scans have many benefits over traditional x-rays. They are fast, safe, non-invasive, and provide better care to our patients. The 3D images provide an accurate view of teeth, bones, and soft tissue. It allows us to diagnose and treat more effectively. Also, it features modern diagnosing of sleep apnea by checking the airways and obstructions. Get started today. Call Brilliant Smile, Laguna Woods Village favorite dentist.